What's up guys, Empedc here, and today we're going to be talking about the Empedc Nymble T2. I just kind of want to go over some things that I've noticed after carrying it for about a week. Just some little nitpicks and complaints. These are going to be all my personal opinions, so just keep that in mind. This is still a fantastic knife, and I think it's still really great, but if they just had done these changes that I'll be talking about on the knife, I think it would just make it so much better. But yeah, we'll go over some good things about this knife real quick, and then we'll kind of get into what I don't really like. So first of all, the overall design and aesthetic of the knife is really nice. It really speaks to me. I think they did a good job with the stonewash finish on the blade, the titanium handles, the hardware, just all the little details like the speed holes with the gold accents. This kind of bronze goldish pivot collar, the action and the detent on this are really nice, really smooth. We got a nice compound grind here on the blade. We got a nice hollow grind here, and then a flat grind here on the tip area. Nice little bead blasted finish there on the fuller. I don't know if it'll pick that up. Nice chamfered edges. Like we got a crown spine here, so it's not sharp. Nice jimping up here on the spine that, you know, goes out pretty far, which I like. I really like that. Ergos feel really good. Another thing that I really like about this is that with some other knives, when I'm talking about reverse flicking, because you're able to get such a low position on that hole right there in the blade, you can really just use your thumb and your index finger here to pinch the top of the knife and put these two fingers right there on the pocket clip. So you can really get some good leverage with your middle finger and just really fling that blade out. But with most other knives that have a cutout in the blade, most of the time you're gonna be in kind of like in this position where you're you know, pinching the knife with your thumb down here and your index finger kind of towards up here and doing one of these numbers, which still works. And you know, I can do that on this knife too, but this also allows you to get into this position here with your thumb up here instead of down here. And I think it allows you to get more leverage on the kick out of the blade. If I try to do that on this, I can still do it, but I don't think it's as comfortable as the Nymble. Let's try another knife. Let's see. This is the CJRB. Oh, sorry. This is the Migron Moyarl, by the way. Really good, budget-friendly knife. The CJRB Pyrite. If I try to get up here and with my index and thumb like I can on the Nymble. My thumb is kind of almost hitting that button lock there, but it's a lot harder for me to do that on this knife. Let's see, let's try another knife. This is the Quiet Carry Drift. Yeah, I can't really do that on this knife, but kind of have to, you know, get my thumb down here and my index up here and hold the knife, you know, like that, and kind of do it like that. But anyways, that's just kind of another feature that I really like about the Nymble, is that I can just, you know, get into this kind of grip, and it just allows me to fling the blade open a lot harder. What else? I like the multiple options of deployment that we have. You know, we have the cutout on the blade. You can even use the fuller area down here and open it like that. It works pretty well too, but I think the hole works a lot better. Then you have the flipper there and the front flipper, which I'm going to talk about in my little nitpick. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for this knife. I mean, overall, really nice design, aesthetics. All right, let's talk about some of the nitpicks that I have. So I guess we'll go ahead and start with just the edges on the handles. The edges on the handle here are pretty sharp. They're not gonna cut you, but so as you can see right here on that little edge right there on the top, they chamfered that edge right there, and here, let me get a paper clip so I can kind of point it out, but they chamfered this edge right there. It goes around and then it stops like right here, and then it's just really sharp all the way down to this area, and then it kind of tapers, and the chamfered edge kind of starts right there. And let's see, does it continue? No, it stops right there at that corner. So you know, this whole area right here is pretty uncomfortable. When it's in the palm of your hand right there, you can definitely feel that edge, and to me it just bothers me, because if, you know, you're just fidgeting with it constantly, you're gonna get tired of that sharp edge. I don't know why, you know, they decided to chamfer the top edges there and the bottom here, but then they just didn't continue it all the way. You know, I think it would have made it look a lot better, and it made it feel better too. Same thing with the pocket clip here. The pocket clip is pretty sharp on the edges as well. It's kind of hard to see because it's black, but I'm trying to get a good angle. Yeah, it's just the same thing with the pocket clip. Pretty sharp edges there, and even the tip right there, it doesn't look sharp or pointy, but it kind of is. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have for the spine of the handles right there, or the edges. I just wish that it was chamfered just like kind of this part right there. The front flipper, I mean, it works, but you really have to give it some motivation with your wrist to kind of assist it in opening. And after a while, it's gonna start chewing up your thumb right there, because it's just not the easiest front flipper, in my opinion. The back flipper here, it's the jimping here is just not enough. And there's only two, grooves right here, and then a pretty wide groove area right here. So your thumb, or sorry, your index finger is only really going to be contacting this middle part right there, that top groove, and then that wider, this part right here, and then there's like no jimping on the outer part right there. So if they added jimping to the outer part there, that would have helped a lot. And if the jimping was a little bit more aggressive, that would have been nice too, because I feel like I have to put a little bit more effort into back flipping it than I should. I feel like back flipping this should be a little bit easier, and I'm sure that would help a lot if the jimping was better. What else? Another thing that I noticed, there's a small little burr on the tip of this knife, and I feel like that's pretty common, because it's so hard to get a perfect even bevel on both sides, especially at the tip there. But I can, here, let's see, which side is it? Yeah, it's on this side. So if I just run it across my thumb here, as you can see, it's taken off material from my thumb, but that's not too bad. Other than that, I feel like this knife is just still really good. But for the price, I just really wish these edges were chamfered, and the back flipper had a little bit better jimping. The pocket clip is nice. Really nice stonewash finish. I'm just a sucker for stonewashes, and I like the bead blasted area in the fuller there. I think it looks really cool. And they managed to crown the spine and make these edges really nice and soft, but they just couldn't they couldn't do that on the edges of the handle, where you're going to be touching it most of the time. But ergos feel really good with this knife. Man, it feels really good back here and choked up. The jipping is pretty good on the spine there. Again, action and detent are really good. And I think part of the problem with front flipping this is that it's hard to kind of keep your fingers off of the lock bar, and if your fingers are on the lock bar, you're going to be applying, you know, that pressure towards it, making it harder for you to front flip. But other than that, I'm still gonna, you know, carry this knife. But, you know, again, if these little nitpicks were fixed, or, you know, they weren't there, it'd be such an awesome knife. I would love it so much more. But yeah, that's about it for this, guys. Hope you guys liked it. If you did, thumbs up, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we'll see you in the next one. Knife Fanatic out.